Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up. Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
He got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no-bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that builds Maine Care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants aren't getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablias asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Stop Double Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing, mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs, but not convicted rapists. A German court gives woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man, too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor, but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible and converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching, quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole worked for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond company. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether there's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791 that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Hey there, I'm here, but I'm still chewing. Sorry about that. Hey. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Morning Night Live, or the PDawgKnight Channel. I'm sorry, I'm still chewing. On this 12th of January, 2026. And I'm kind of on a misinformation kick right now. Because, believe it or not, sometimes things you read on the internet or see on the internet, and I'm spitballing here, sometimes they're not true. Imagine that. And and especially in this case with the lady who didn't deserve to die, She may have been heavily contributing to her own demise, but I mean, deserve to die is kind of a weird term. Like I said, she contributed to her own demise, and her death is a result of actions, right? And she, died because of what she did and how it affected the person that she was driving a car at. But a lot of people are like saying, oh, conservatives say she deserved to die. No, she deserves to be home with her son and her partner, whatever, spouse. And unfortunately, the action she took made that not possible anymore. What the hell did I do that? No, what the hell? There we go. Something happened to my browser here. What the hell? No, I don't want anything to happen. Why did this pop up? Anyway, but there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's from everybody. Okay. Someone will see someone post something and they'll just go, oh, that sounds like it fits exactly what I want it to be. And so I'm going to click repost. And I almost got caught up in that over the last couple of days. And when I noticed something that someone said about, well, it's the one on this side, where they're saying that, oh, there's a law in Minnesota that says this. And so I went into the statutes, and it doesn't say that. Now, in practice, it may do what this person here is saying it does, but it's not what the law says. And I think it's important when you're arguing with people on the internet that you get things accurate. And otherwise you get caught up in the community note weeds. Or someone's going to say, well, it doesn't say that. It doesn't mean that. Well, it does mean that, even though it doesn't explicitly say that. But it doesn't say that. And that's important. Because you get up, then because people just think you're lying and whatever. So my advice today after reading some of this stuff is don't repost stuff unless you're sure. Because sometimes it's just your own confirmation bias where you'll repost it and they're like, oh, damn it. It doesn't say that. Now I look like an idiot. And I try not to look like an idiot as much as possible. So let's get to the show. We've got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it, but I have more time than usual because I'm here a little earlier than usual, which is great. So let's start with the chat. First in the chat today is, who is it? Wait, is that right? Or did my thing reset? What happened to Green Badger Outdoors? Well, I know, I'm pretty sure it was Green Badger Outdoors. So Green Badger Outdoors, you get the bell. I'll give it 2, even though your name disappeared. Are you here somewhere? I don't even see you in the chat. You were here first, and now you're gone. Didn't somebody delete you? Let's go to top. Does it work in Tom Chat? No? What the hell happened there? That is so weird. Anyway, all right, we'll go back to live chat. Now it's just going to be in a random order because I don't know who is really here and who is not. What the hell happened? Okay, anyway. All right, also good morning, Avocados Diabli. And Kara Soldier, Blue Eyed Scream, Skello8, aka Midnight, our young friend, Somnambule Nation, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also Jay Blizza in the chat. Blue Eyed Scream, already said. Anyone else? I'm scrolling. Oh, Miss Wild Wolf is here. Also, Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadian. K Shaw, what up, Kirsten? How you doing? And I think that might. Oh no, that's it. No, I'm scrolling down. Yeah, Takapaka, what's up? How you doing? And there you go. I don't GBO. Yeah, I know Green Badger Outdoors was first. I finally figured that out. As far as I know, I've never been a community node on X. Yeah, no, I don't think I have either. Oh, Mrs. Hayes is in my brain. Nice to have you here. And Maddie's in the house. Nice to have Maddie coming back on the regular. PDawgKnight Streamlabs link is not working, isn't it? Oh, well, what the hell? Let me try something here. Where is that going? Oh, that's going to my channel. Oh, that's a different one. Which Streamlabs link? Let me scroll through here and see if I can fix that real quick. Got to have the Streamlabs link working. If you shared the stream, is that right? Where is the Streamlabs link? Oh my gosh. Well, here, let me try this. Streamlabs. Mine's my cap locks on. / Pete. Okay, here. I'll just pin this one at the top. I don't know why it's not working. I don't need it. If you already shared the stream, you've already shared the stream. So the Streamlabs link is oh, well, here. Oh, Johnny Boomertech just put it on there too. Okay, let's see if this one's working. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, let me fix that. I don't know what happened with the Johnny Boomertech Streamlabs link. Try the other one here. That one's not working either. Okay, well, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. Okay, it's not. That's that other dude. Oh, that's weird. Streamlabs having issues too. Hang on a sec. What the hell happened there? Should be my dashboard. And okay, that's working. All right, let me fix all those links and then we'll be fine. Give me a second, because I need the links to work. Let's do it this way. Streamlabs. We'll just change all these links. Copy and paste all these. Do the Streamlabs. We'll do the streamlabs.com/PDawgKnight link. How's that? There. I'm going to change all these. This one works. There, and I'll pin that one at the top, just for posterity until I can get all the other ones changed. All right, there you go. I don't know why that's not working. Let's see, does this one have it? Yeah, change them all. This one. And then there's the last one. Okay, there we go. We got them all changed. for now. This is a temporary fix, but we'll see what happens. All right, so there's the Streamlabs links. All right, there you go, guys. You can. Oh shoot! What the hell? Oh, because I didn't change it up here. Johnny Boomer Tech is being very difficult. And Johnny, you should be doing this. Why am I doing this? You should be doing this right now. What's wrong with you? Did that work? No. Son of a bee. Copy. Paste. Oh, I see. Trash that. Confirm that. There we go. Yay! Now it should work. All right. You said when you did it go through. I have it. No, it hasn't. I don't see it. So we'll have to figure that out eventually here. Unless it just hasn't come through yet. All right. Good morning, Pope. The Pope is here. Pope Tyrannius III, the Blessed Lich. With today's message of hope, not from the Father, not from the Son, but from the Holy Ghost. Today's message of hope is blessings of the Holy Ghost. Each day is a chance to improve, grow, or stagnate. Just because you stagnate today doesn't mean you will not have growth or improvement. Take each day in that mindset. Take each day in that mindset. Yes. Thanks, Pope Tyrannius III. And also, good morning, Gunfox61. What's up, butta? It's been a minute. All right. All right, now that I'm done goofing around with Streamlabs, let's get into the news. I didn't do the holidays. Good God, what's wrong with me? Don't start with A, start with Z, because it'll take less time, maybe. All right. Okay, there we go. I don't have a special holiday. Here's the holidays today. It's National Hot Tea Day. And, look, I got to tell you, when I decided a long time ago, or not a long time ago, it was actually pretty recently, here's some advice. If you take a break from coffee, okay, you stop drinking coffee and you replace it with tea, you will remove every little bit of joy that you've had in your life. So fuck hot tea day. Who can get that fucking hot tea? Actually, I do kind of like hot tea sometimes. Anyway, it's National Clean Your Desk Day, Kiss a Ginger Day. Oh, man. Also, National Gluten-Free Day, National Curried Chicken Day, which is celebrated in London quite often. National Fourth Graders Day. What? Is there a day for every grade of school? National Pharmacist Day. Go get your drugs. National Youth Day, which is pretty much every day. National Marzipan Day. I don't know why. Those look like potatoes. What? Those look like potatoes. What? National Marzipan Day, but those are potatoes. What the hell? Or maybe, I don't know. Work Harder Day, every day. Feast of Fabulous Wild Men Day. Ooh. Ladies. Stick to your New Year's resolution day. Too late. And National Kettlebell Day and National Plow Day. Make the start of farming year in a historic way. Plow Monday, a tradition for the full merriment and rural charm. Look, in my part of the country, nobody's plowing today. I mean, we're talking about frozen permafrost and shit. So anyway, all right. No, and I do not hate England. I just think they talk funny. So there you go. And good morning, FNS. I'm sorry. We butcher your language, you English folks' language every day. And sometimes just everything we do is more practical. For example, we have sidewalks in the United States, because you walk on the side of the road, not on the road, where they call the sidewalk pavement. And it's like, well, no, pavement is everything that you can pave. Streets are pavement. Everything's paved. But sidewalk is you're walking on the side of the road. It just makes more sense. Yeah, I'm just saying it makes more sense. Okay, enough of the holidays. What else we got? Thanks to people sharing the show too. A lot of you. A lot of it is okay. I'm getting notifications for some things I've put on the internet this morning too. But as far as the show, thank you, Somnambule Nation. Almost always first. Either you or Miss Wildwolf always beat me to the punch. And so there you go. We're pre-posting both of you. Thank you, Miss Wildwolf. And then you got obviously this is Green Badger Outdoors. If I see some military hardware flying through the sky, throw it on them afterburners. There you go. And then we got Miss Wildwood. Oh, we got some another drifting car, but this is a real one. There you go. Thank you for the let's go there. And I thought someone was calling me a clown, but this is just Somnambule Nation, where Monday are for Ronald Fuckery. What the fuck is he doing? I don't know. It just is. And then thanks to people retweeting the show, Somnambule Nation, K-Shell, aka Kirsten, Blue Eyed Scream, and Miss Wildwolf. Oh, and there's Mike Savage with the Let Us Go. And oh, is this Midnight posting the cute little kid? Oh my gosh, thank you, Midnight. I can't repost it, but you know, we'll figure that out someday. And Tyre, the Pope, yes, Alexander, reposting the show. So I greatly appreciate it. Oh, and there's our Ric Flair. Woo! You know, there's a pretty good documentary on Netflix about Ric Flair. Just the hard ride in life he's lived. And I watched it Saturday, I think. It was pretty good. Oh, yeah, today's Monday, isn't it? Happy Monday, by the way. All right. Let's see, move on. Things happened in the news. The Golden Globes were last night, and of course, they all wore their little pins for Renee Good, like they knew her or something. And so here it is. Golden Globe stars wear pins for ICE shooting victim Renee Good. The 37-year-old mother of three and poet. Oh my gosh. I bet she crochets little toy bunnies too. Look, it's so irrelevant to what happened to her. Other than we can feel sad for her child and for her. Look, I don't hate the woman. I don't have any reason to hate her. That's why I keep saying she didn't deserve to die. No one wanted her to die. But anyway, the 37-year-old mother, three and poet, died January 7th in Minneapolis during an ICE operation when agents Jonathan Ross fired 3 shots at her SUV amid conflicting commands. Now, holy shit. This is so again, you know how Grok summarizes posts of X, and all the lefties, you're hearing the lefty version of this story. It's kind of wild because there weren't conflicting commands at the time she decided to go, except the conflicting command that her wife, spouse, whatever you want to call her, when she said drive, 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 because she couldn't get in the car. Anyway, celebrities including Ariana Grande, Jean Smart, Wanda Sykes, and Natasha Lyonne, which I only know 2 of those of the 4 names, wore protest pins at the Globes as demonstrations outside ICE headquarters entered their 6th day with clashes, including attack on journalist vehicle. A GoFundMe for Good's family raised over $1.5 million amid an ongoing FBI probe. It's interesting. I saw Brian Krassenstein yesterday because there was a GoFundMe for the officer, which I'm not sure why yet, but for possible legal representation. And Brian Krassenstein made this post to his 1.1x million ex-followers, saying to go flag it because it's for something, something to do with an illegal action where you kill somebody on purpose. And so he's flagging and got all his people to flag it. But I'm not, and I can understand having a GoFundMe for this woman's family, her child, because, he lost his mother. I don't have a problem with that. I guess where I'm concerned is why would they try to take down the officer's GoFundMe for legal expenses, which he doesn't have any yet. He hasn't been charged with anything. So, but anyway, so obviously it should be no shock to you that the Golden Globes had something like that going on. But the only reason I decided to talk about the Golden Globes, which I don't give 2 rats behinds about, was the opening monologue by this woman. What's her name? Well, Golden Globes trending. What's her name? Nikki Glaser. Oh my God, she was hilarious, and it was funny, and there was nothing overtly political, and it was just she's one of these celebrity roast regulars on these celebrity roasts, because she's very funny and good. Comes up with just nasty things to say shit about them, and so I'm just gonna put her in the links today. I'm just gonna put the monologue in the links because it's really good. It's really funny. but I'm not going to post it because I think it's probably some copyright shit going on with it. So anyway, it's in the links. I highly recommend you watch it. It's funny. It's not overtly political. I mean, the only thing close to being political is she was talking about CBS News, you know, the news place where you can go see BS, but she didn't make any reference to Trump about it or to, you know, she didn't do that. And it's funny because little moron Henry Sisson was like, oh, she just roasted Trump. She didn't mention Trump at all in her thing. She only talked about people in the room and made funny jokes about them. And so I highly recommend you watch it. I mean, it was as good as like Ricky Gervais doing it. Although he threw a couple little politically charged jabs in there. She didn't even do that. Oh, but the funniest line though. Wait a minute. There was one funny line. She said, this was great. And I didn't watch the Golden Globes. I just watched her monologue to see if it was funny or not and how political it was. And it wasn't political. The funniest joke I thought she told, she said, it's really good to be here among all these A-list celebrities. Yes, all these celebrities on a list that is probably highly redacted. And you could kind of hear the ooh in there. But some people were laughing very hilariously. That was funny as fuck to me. So anyway, I suppose that's somewhat political. Good morning, Anon. 1, 2, 3. So anyway, all right, moving on. Oh, I did have her monologue already flagged here. Never mind. I guess I didn't have to do it twice. So it's in the links today. Check out her monologue. It's very funny. I highly recommend it. Also happening, this is something that is going to happen, I think, later in the week. I think it's Friday this comes out, but GDP for the last quarter is about to come out. And they've revised the prediction to be higher. Now, there's people on here bitching about saying that we're in a recession, blah, 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 blah. But, wait, what? But they've upgraded the prediction, the Fed estimate for the fourth quarter, which means, you know, there's been significant economic growth in the U.S. Now, is that good or bad as far as inflation rates and whatnot, which technically it should be, you know, it would tell the Fed that they probably shouldn't lower interest rates because you don't want it to be too fast either. But that's something that you're not hearing a whole lot about. So here's the article in what's it called? Issues and Insights. The next GDP report could be very bad news for Democrats. The government office official report on economic growth in the fourth quarter of 2025 won't come out. Oh, it was, I guess, for another 6 weeks. It comes out in beginning of March. Anyway, but a preview should be a cause for celebration for everybody who isn't a Democratic politician. The Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta keeps running a tab on the economy using economic data as it comes in to produce an ongoing forecast for GDP growth in the quarter as the quarter unfolds, which is called GDP Now. The number usually bounces around a little as the data comes in, and the final number is usually very close to the official government report that comes out several weeks after the quarter ends. But yesterday, we saw something unusual. On Thursday, the GDP Now estimate doubled. What? The GDP Now model estimate of real GDP growth in the fourth quarter of 2025 is 5.4% on January 8th, up from 2.7% on January 5th, it says. The Atlanta Fed attributes the jump to recent data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis and the Census Bureau and the Institute of Supply Management. To be sure, the GDP Now figure will be revised again and could fall as more numbers come in, but if this one turns out to be accurate, it would mean that the third consecutive quarter of increasing GDP growth under President Donald Trump. And that's a far cry from the calamity his critics have been and still are predicting. As the GDP Now chart shows, the blue chip consensus forecast for quarter four was below 1%. But things like this seem to keep happening. The economy keeps unexpectedly doing better than the experts predicted. The third quarter GDP number came in well above expectations. Job growth in November beat expectations. Inflation keeps coming in below expert forecast. So this will be interesting as you start seeing these economic numbers. If they turn out to be good, despite Trump's I'll do this with this too. Trump's tariffs. Despite Trump's tariffs, holy shit, that's gonna be crazy. Anyway, good morning, Midnight in Exile. How you doing, brother? All right. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Now, on that economic note, here's a story that I bet you haven't heard yet too. And now look, this says from January 9th. So this was Friday. And this was Friday at 12:34 p.m. Eastern time, posted by Reuters. And I'll bet you didn't know this. Remember that little Argentina? They said that we gave Argentina $40 billion, right? And we're having problems here. We gave Argentina $40 billion. That doesn't sound like America First. Remember that? Y'all remember that, right? Well, here's a headline that didn't get much play. Probably because of the whole Renee Good thing. This one's kind of snuck under the radar. Ready? Are you ready? Argentina has repaid the United States for that currency swap deal already. What? This is in Reuters. This isn't like Fox News reporting this. This is Reuters. They're supposed to be real news. Argentina has repaid the United States for the currency swap framework it provided to the South American country last year to stabilize its economy, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Argentina's central bank said on Friday. Closed, I am pleased to announce that reflecting its strengthened financial position, Argentina has both quickly and fully repaid its limited draw on the swap facility with the United States, such that the Exchange Stabilization Fund currently does not hold any pesos, which is our exchange fund. Hello, Sailor Wizard, by the way. And the Reuters tariff, okay, whatever. We look forward to continue our enthusiastic support of President Milei and Argentina, he added. In a separate post, Argentina's central bank added that it had settled the swap line in December, 2 months after it was announced. According to local newspaper La Nación, $2.5 billion of a possible $20 billion had been used in that time. The source with knowledge of the matter told Reuters the agreement remained in force under the agreed terms. So here's the thing. That was interesting. That line is interesting to me. Meaning that, okay, so we gave them, it was basically just a line of credit, so to speak, based on a currency exchange. And it looks like they only, I thought it was 40 billion total possible, but this says 20 billion. They only took 2.6 billion of the draw on it anyway. And they already repaid it. And now they've already repaid the United States. And the United States is no longer holding Argentinian pesos. So the funds were used in October to pay back the debt to the International Monetary Fund and to return foreign currency that had been used to support the exchange rate in the days leading up to the election. Libertarian President Javier Milei, an ally of U.S. President Donald Trump, succeeded in extending his influence in the country's legislatures. Washington signaled it would condition its financial support of Argentina on the outcome of the election. But the swap line drew backlash in the U.S., with critics calling the move a bailout and arguing it disadvantaged U.S. agricultural exports against competition from Argentina for the Chinese market. Bessent said late October that there would be no taxpayer losses, and Washington was looking to use its economic power to show up a friendly government. So, did anyone know? Did you hear any of the? I don't know if you. Well, I don't watch Sunday news shows anymore, but did you hear that on any of the Sunday news shows? Have you heard people crowing about it on X? Well, first of all, I'm surprised more people on the right hadn't mentioned it on X. In fact, here, let me mention it right now. Let's see. How many of you heard the news that Tina has already paid the United States back. And we'll just cut and paste the old link to that bad boy. I had no freaking idea. Plop. So there you go. How about that, huh? So we were helping them, and in exchange, they'll help us and be a closer allies, which works out as long as they keep holding up their end, and we do the same. Yes, Cyan Wizard. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So I'm pleasantly surprised, to be honest with you, because I just never hear about anyone paying us back. But it's in Reuters. It's in who has it here? It's Congress, the Congressional Record, or whatever here, right? Whatever this is, Congress.gov. Apparently, they put articles in here. I thought I saw a Yahoo article on it too. It's weird though. But you know what's weird? So I saw the Reuters report, right? And so I looked this up on Brave, you know, just scrolling through here. I don't see any of the major news outlets talking about this, like CNN. This is CNN, or, you know, New York Times, or you know, there's a Yahoo article and there's a Reuters article. Nothing else. No one else picked up that story, it seems like. Now, I didn't look specifically in those places. Here it is on Yahoo, which is just reiterating the Reuters article. I don't see it on NBC, ABC, CBS, any of the major news networks. So I'm curious as to why that no one's mentioned, and I don't see any news about it in the Sunday talk shows or whatever. That's crazy. So, also, of course, Nazi Germany is trending because, you know, it's just like Nazi Germany right now. They've already got my spot, you know, reserved in the Gulag. But here, this is interesting. Or not Gulag, that'd be Soviets. Concentration camp. They have a concentration camp waiting for me because I have brown skin. Here's something crazy. One of the reasons Nazi Germany is trending is because of this picture right here. This cute little baby right here, right? Cute little baby. And it's about, so this cute little baby is Hesse Levingsons Taft, the Jewish woman whose photo as an infant was publicized throughout Nazi Germany for being an exemplar of an Aryan baby, which is pretty funny to me that they had this baby and didn't realize that they used a picture of a Jew. But anyway, for being exemplar of the Aryan baby, she died in her home in San Francisco last week. She lived in San Francisco, I guess. According to the New York Times, she was 91 years old. In 1934, when Taft was 6 months old, her parents, Latvian Jewish opera singers living in Berlin, had her portrait taken by photographer Hans Ballen. And Ballen submitted her photo to a Nazi contest seeking the perfect Aryan baby. It was selected by Joseph Goebbels himself, the notorious Nazi chief of propaganda, and appeared on the cover of Sonnen's House, a pro-Nazi publication. The image would spread widely across Germany in magazines, advertisements, postcards, and homes. When confronted with the matter by Taft's parents, Ballen said he knew she was Jewish but submitted her photo anyway as a prank, exposing the absurdity of Nazi theories on race, according to her obituary in the Times. So that's some chef kiss trolling right there, right? Dude was trolling. And how they never figured it out is crazy. Or maybe they did and just said, fuck it, we're not going to tell anybody. Jews think the same. Oh my God. Midnight, I know you don't like Jews. It's okay. It's all good. Holy shit. Anyway, so I just think that's hilarious. So now the other reason Nazi Germany is trending is because all the people comparing the United States right now to Nazi Germany and whatnot. Oh, in fact, here's a good one right here. So this guy, Crunchy Rugger, whatever that means, says next time a maggot, because you know they have to call people maggots, what isn't a refutation, that's a dismissal. I am dismissing it. I'm dismissing it and I'm letting it go because I just, you and I don't agree on these things, on that particular subject. And I'm not knocking you for it. I'm just letting you know I disagree, and that's as simple as I'm going to do it. I don't need to refute it. We agree on far more than we disagree on, so I'm all good. And this is my space is a free speech space, so have at it. It's all good because I consider us friends. All right. Next time a maggot cries no fairsies about you comparing them to Nazis, show them this picture. This is quite literally a slogan used by fascist governments, including Nazi Germany. And so they have this picture of Chrissy Noem saying, one of yours, one of ours, all of yours. Now, what's funny about this is that's fake. He put a fake picture. And I'm talking about fake shit today. And hello, Lord Stanhope. And, wait, Spud Gun? Oh my God, Spud Gun, where you been? So anyway, so Christy Noem here in front of this picture, and it's literally a slogan used by fascists in Nazi Germany. This picture right here, the little phrase right there, it's photoshopped. They finally took it down. Because I showed them it was a Photoshop picture. Oh, I feel bad now. It's gone. I don't know if I can get it back. Yeah, there it is. So they must have just took it down this morning. It's Photoshopped. So anyway, when you see stuff and a lot of people, 98 people had already retweeted it though, reposted it. And so listen, you got to be careful what you repost, even if it's something you agree with. So, yes, Spud Gun, it's me. Yeah, be careful what you repost on the internet because you might just end up looking like an idiot. So, all right. Next, I got, what do I got next? Oh, Iran. And I ran so far away. Except I don't have that hair. You know the hair? You know what I'm talking about, right? Flock seagulls. Anyway, yeah, the shit in Iran's popping off. Holy fart balls, Batman. So there's an urgent UN. First of all, there's hashtag urgent UN session for Iran is trending. And some are saying, please join our appeal for UN emergency action on Iran. Post your own tweet. There are the protests in Iran are getting bad. People are dying. And let's see, the Iran Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, issued a defiant televised warning to President Trump on Friday, comparing him to fallen tyrants and claiming victory over the unrest is near. Protests that erupted around December 28th over inflation and tax hikes have grown into calls for regime change, with crowds in Tehran and other cities burning buildings and supporting exiled Reza Pahlavi, who urged Trump to intervene. A nationwide internet shutdown since January 8th has failed to stop smuggled videos of defiance, though riot groups report at least 65 deaths and over 2,300 arrests, with unverified claims of over 200 killed in Tehran alone. Trump responded by warning Iran against shooting protesters and posting that the U.S. stands ready to help as the army deploys to streets. That's in Tehran. Now it's up to around estimated 4,000 killed, as Gunfox has posted there. So, and then France condemns use of violence against protesters in Iran. And here's France with protesters. Oh, God. Well, look. And here's some of the Persian Jews. What you don't understand about these protests is Iranians of every generation are risking it all for freedom. Teenagers who have never known life outside of Islamic regime, parents whose childhoods were violently stolen in 1979, grandparents who still remember the golden age of Iran before Islamofascism. This isn't a phase. This is a nation rising up across generations to reclaim itself, and then the post-free Iran. I don't know if this is I don't know if this photo is real or this video is real or if it's. I'm assuming that this is AI. But there are some. I know Starlink has made some of its services available to Iranian people. I don't know how they would get it, but let's go into the Breitbart article on this. Iran protests, death toll rises, alarm grows over crackdown massacre. At least 192 protesters have been killed in Iran's biggest movement against the Islamic Republic in more than 3 years, a rights group said Sunday, as warnings grew that authorities were committing a massacre to quell the demonstrations. The protests, initially sparked by anger over the rising cost of living, have now become a movement against the theocratic system in place in Iran since 1979 and has already lasted 2 weeks, which is rare. Protests don't last that long in Iran because they usually kill everybody or throw them all in jail, which they are doing. Is there 4,000 deaths or 4,000 arrests? I'm not sure there are gun vox. Anyway, the protests, initially sparked by anger over the rising cost of living, have now become a movement against the theocratic system in place in Iran since 1979. The mass rallies are one of the biggest challenges to the rule of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who's 86 years old, coming in the wake of Israel's 12-day war against the Islamic Republic in June, which was backed by the United States. Protests have swelled in recent days despite an internet blackout that has lasted more than 60 hours, according to Monitor Net Blocks, with the activists warning that the shutdown limiting the flow of information and the actual toll risks being far higher. Since the start of the protests, Iran Human Rights has confirmed the killing of at least 192 protesters, the Norway-based non-governmental organization said, warning that the deaths may even be more extensive than we currently imagine. Videos of large demonstrations in the capital, Tehran, and other cities over the past 3 nights have filtered out despite the internet cuts that render impossible normal communications with the outside world via messaging apps or even phone line. Look, I bet, like WhatsApp is really popular in that part of the world. And so whether you have video coming out from the internet, a lot of times WhatsApp will still work. Several circulating videos which have not been verified by AFP allegedly showed relatives in a Tehran morgue identifying bodies of protesters killed in the crackdown. So it's growing. Hello, Select Boy. It's growing. And it'll be interesting to see how. Yeah, boy. That was a little late. What are you doing? Would you please get your shit together over there? Sorry, I had to yell at Johnny. So yeah, there's a couple articles. Also, the Free Beacon, Iranian regime escalates crackdown on protesters, slaughtering hundreds. And Trump's now weighing in on military action. And now it says, this article from the 11th from yesterday says upwards of 500 protesters were killed. So, shit. It's getting nasty. I don't know if we should be in. Look, I know Trump wants to save lives and shit, but a lot of people are kind of excited about the possibility of Iran being normal again, but I don't think we need to help. I just let it happen. As Monk would say, just let it happen. Just let it happen. We don't need to put our fingers in it at all. So there you go. So there's a couple articles about it, and then the X summary: unrest erupted on December 28th. After Iran's rial hit over 1.45 million to the dollar. What? The Iranian rial is now 1.45 million to the dollar. Holy shit. Spiking food prices 60 to 70% and inflation beyond 40%, leading merchants to strikes to swell into demonstrations across more than 100 cities. Crowds chanted death to Khamenei. So, when they start yelling death to Khamenei instead of death to America, this shit's real. And some called for the Shah's return, with women defying hijab rules and symbolic acts near regime buildings. Rana reports that 544 deaths, including 490 protesters and 8 children, over 10,000 arrests, and hospital records of at least 217 protester fatalities in Tehran alone, as the regime blames foreign interference and vows punishment. Holy shit. Now this is interesting. Now this looks genuine. Brave Iranian women challenged the Islamic regime by singing and dancing and removing their hijabs, all of which are forbidden and punishable by death under Sharia law. They're literally risking their lives here. The Islamic regime must be destroyed. To which I'm sure many Americans on the left are torn because they want to be more like that. But taking off your job and twirling your hair around is not going to get you in trouble here. And also, they like the for some reason they like the Iranian dictators. Maybe it's because they're Muslim. I don't know why, but they seem to support the government over there. Oh, Nick Fuentes has chimed in. Oh, Midnight, you'll like this one. Midnight XL. The chaos in Iran is totally astroturfed by Israel and the U.S. for regime change. This was always their endgame after over a decade of industrial sabotage, sanctions, political subversion, espionage. Why do you think Iran wanted nuclear weapons? To prevent this exact scenario. He very well may not be wrong there. I'm not, but I can't stand Nick Fuentes, so fuck him. Let's see. Here's Mario Nawful. Iran regime forces unload live fire on fleeing protesters. A new clip from catches security thugs straight up blasting live rounds at a group of demonstrators bolting for safety as the body count climbs amid a relentless crackdown. So I'm not going to show the video of that. So anyway. All right, next we got, and Tehran's trending. This is all, I'm going to skip this too. This is just all. Rubina Amyanam was 23 years old. She was a student. She went to college, tried on jewelry, laughed onto her phone, and believed her life was still ahead of her. On Thursday, she joined the protest in Tehran. After class, by the weekend, she was dead, shot at close range in the back of the head and buried beside a roadside, like discarded evidence. Shot in the back of the head is not crowd control. It's not panic. It's execution. People here say that that Renee Good was executed. But she was not armed. She was not hiding. She was not a threat. She was a young Kurdish woman demanding the right to live freely in her own country. For that, the Islamic Republic killed her and then tried to erase her. So, yeah, I mean, every person that's dying has a story, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, Jerome Powell's trending. Apparently, he might be being prosecuted. I don't understand this move. I mean, breaking: Jerome Powell issued a defiant message to Trump after his DOJ criminally indicted him. Powell rightly says that this is a politically motivated indictment because he refused to bend the knee to Trump. Retweet to stand on with Chairman Powell. It's interesting that anyone, the only reason people would say stand with Chairman Powell is because it's against Trump. Hello, reaction, Puerto Rico. I don't understand indicting him. Apparently the problem is Chairman Powell just told Trump to go fuck himself. Not literally, legally, after the Trump administration announced they were pushing charges against the Fed chair. A defiant Powell says he will stay on his job and called Trump out for his bullshit. Well, here's what Powell. Let's hear what Powell says in his rebuttal of these charges.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June.
Did he lie?
That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings.
Did he lie? That's the question, I bet. Which, prosecuting him, is that the only way they can get him out? I'm just curious.
It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project.
Did you lie?
Those are pretexts.
Did
the threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following...
Yeah, but yes, you're right. But
Are they prosecuting all of the Fed board or just you for lying to Congress? I'm just curious. I'm not sure.
The preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum.
Now, that's weird that he says that, because I've watched how the Fed works since the mid-90s regarding interest rates. And there have been some very curious decisions made over the last, say, 8 or 9 years regarding that. And particularly during the last 3 years, when right before an election they made a decision that made 0 sense based on their normal strategies that I've watched for 20 years. Well, 30 years. Holy shit, that's a long time. 30 years. That made 0 sense based on my watching this for 30 years. So, so the idea that wasn't, and it seemed, because it was right before an election, it seemed overtly political. Now, it didn't help because, well, you know, Biden had his issues. But so I'm curious. No political or political favor? Yeah, maybe not.
Employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to.
By the way, I don't think the president necessarily should be threatening or, you know, threatening the Fed or whatever. And he can make his opinion known, but it shouldn't be a big factor in how they do things, except when the economic numbers change in a way that normally they would do something and they don't. I raise an eyebrow. Because again, I've been watching this for 30 years, even though I'm not in that business anymore. I still watch it every time it comes out. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Here, are they going to raise rates? They're probably going to raise rates. Like, for example, right now, if the fourth quarter GDP really came in at 5.4%, then you normally wouldn't see a Fed rate cut because you don't want the economy to get overheated. And that's been their philosophy for a long time. But prior to this, you thought they would have nudged it down a little bit, which I think they did. They did 25 basis points recently. But still, it's just one of those things where what he's saying isn't exactly mesh with what they've done.
To do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
So anyway, I think personally think the charges might be slightly heavy-handed and just rather maybe take him to the woodshed or kick him out or whatever. But I suppose you'd have to be impeached to get him out of there. His term's up soon anyway. But all the lefties are excited that he's disobeying in advance. JoJo from Jurors is that weirdo who uses face filters every time she takes a picture of herself. Jerome Powell is not obeying in advance. Everyone from tech companies to academic institutions and to museums to law firms and beyond need to follow his lead. Yeah, shut up. Shut up, bitch. Anyway, so here it is. The DOJ probe into federal chairman Jerome Powell. The United States Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia has reportedly opened a criminal investigation into Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. The investigation centers around the skyrocketing costs for the renovation of the Federal Reserve headquarters, which greatly exceeded the previous estimate of $2.5 billion with a B. Confirmed the probe in a statement released Sunday. So, is that I see. They don't have the whole article. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so that I don't have a whole article there because I didn't do the archive version, but what you get the point. It's kind of weird that that's going that way. So, all right, let's see if this will give you a full article. I don't know if it will. Give me a sec. Oh, it's doing it itself, so I'll forget it. All right. Also, now there's some just odds and ends before I talk about our local news, which has become very much national news. Apparently some bounty hunter, this bounty hunter dude, on X, Kenneth Maxwell Barron, a 37. Now this is not him in this video down here. This is a different guy. Listen to this story. Kenneth Maxwell Barron, a 37-year-old from California, posted a 4-minute TikTok video accusing ICE of firing at fleeing vehicles, dehumanizing immigrants, and hiding behind badges. Really? Hey, Chris, what's up? Nice to have you. Never got an audit of gold reserves. Yeah, we never did get that either. We need that. And Anna Lynn, good morning. And Renee Mayette is here. Good morning. Okay, he posted a 4-minute video accusing ICE of firing at fleeing vehicles, which they don't normally do, dehumanizing immigrants, and hiding behind badges. Apparently, though, this guy, who I don't know why, maybe a bunch of people reposting it or whatever, he was sentenced in 2019 to over 10 years in prison for possessing child movies that they shouldn't be in. And as a registered sex offender on an attempted distribution after illicit images were found on his devices during parole. Oh, so he was on parole. I got it. 6 years earlier, in 2013, he was arrested for posing as a cop by pulling over teens with flashing lights on an unmarked car, leading to charges of impersonation, robbery, and false imprisonment, while fugitive recovery agents tracked bail skippers for bondsmen without law enforcement powers. Barron's felon record likely bars him from legal operation in California. So there you go. I think this is the guy right here. Thank you. Cryptic's in the house. What up, Cryptic? How you doing? And thank you for sponsoring the show on YouTube Super Chats. FYI, your Streamlabs link is broken. Is the Streamlabs link at the top of the chat working? Let me click that. I believe this. Here, let me see here. Hang on a second. I'm pretty sure use the Streamlabs link at the top of the chat instead. I don't know what's going on with the other one. Thank you very much, Cryptic. I appreciate it. I realize the old, that one looks like it's working, or unless there's something wrong with Streamlabs, I'm not sure. PDawgKnight, it works. They just don't go through. Oh, let me check something here then. Let me check the back channel here. Just a second here. Maybe they're just not coming through on there. Hang on a second. Let's see. Tip history. Okay, they're not even going through here either. Okay, well, we'll have to figure that one out. Thanks for letting me know, guys. If you're sending them through, yeah, they're not coming in here. Okay, well, we'll figure that out sometime, another time. All right, let's get back to, let's see, we did Taran Powell, Bounty Hunter. Okay, here's this guy, that, let's see here. This is the guy that has all those problems.
Cosplay badge, not a fake badge, a real badge. I need to say this out loud and clear.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. He's claiming that that ICE are not real, but that he's a fugitive recovery agent, warrant division, and he's wearing a badge. But according to this story, while fugitive recovery agents track bail skippers for bondsmen without law enforcement powers, Barron's felon record likely bars him from legal operation in California. So there's that. Here's what he's saying.
Can fuck all the way off. Because what you're doing out there, that's not law enforcement. It's not fucking public safety. That's not just following orders.
Remember, this guy's a fake.
You know, and since all this bullshit started back in early
And
February,
he's got some very interesting legal history behind him, as we've just mentioned.
every story. I've heard story after story after story of critical details of internal investigations being overlooked, just to cover up this inhumane bullshit that's going on out there in the name of law and order.
Okay, let's just stop right now. We can disregard everything this fucker says. Fuck this guy. FTG. Kenneth Barron. Yeah, he's a convicted sex offender. And a fake fugitive, whatever. So fuck that guy. All right. Jasmine Crockett's, I don't know why Jasmine Crockett was trending, but she was. Because people are mad about this dude that used to be on Saturday Night Live. Let me scroll down here. Did I put it in a separate tab? I did not. I didn't put it in a separate tab. So this dude that used to be on Saturday Night Live was on some podcast. And here it is right here. These guys, these two, I'm not even gonna say it. These guys was talking on a podcast about politics. I guess this guy used to be on Saturday Night Live. He's the guy who just left the cast.
This is another thing about early days lost culture that I regret is being a Hillary stan.
I don't regret it because I think we were trying really hard.
Are they gay or just effeminate heterosexuals? I don't think it matters, but it's just curious. But anyway, they're saying that they shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have. They're regretting supporting Hillary a few years ago, right?
To just win.
I know.
But they say something. But they say something here that really pissed off black women. Just so listen. They bitched out already and apologized. Yep.
So silly.
Here's what I'll say. The president should.
Did they bitch? Did they already apologize to Jasmine Crockett? Because they're just little bitches, right?
I believe the president should have been Elizabeth Warren.
You and many of the smart Brooklyn gays are aligned in this.
Oh, they're gay.
I'm sure we all share a certain ideology about all this. Yeah. But the fact is, the reason we were Hillary stands is because at the time,
it was
the Bernie bro thing. Remember 2016?
I remember.
It was it got a little thick there with the way people were talking on the Bernie side, and
thick as in Hillary's ankles.
It was misogynistic and it was tough. And I think at the time there was a very girl bossy that was Obama chorus, hey.
Right.
Don't talk like that. We're going to crash the glass ceiling, girl.
And
I pull my hair back, check my nails. It was a very...
Hey, at least this is entertaining. That's funny to me.
So I don't look back in regrets because we were part of the culture we were part of. Should we have listened to the populist message all along? Is that ultimately what would work for them? Yes.
You mean the populist message that wasn't working and that Elizabeth Warren wasn't getting any traction?
It's not going to be Gavin Newsom. And anytime
I love they said that, though. I love that they said that.
Politician is making it too obviously about themselves, I'm already done.
We're out.
Don't waste your money sending to Jasmine Crockett.
And that's what set the black women off.
Do not do it.
I must agree.
Don't do it. You're going to waste your money. Take it from someone who sent Sarah Gideon a ton of money in Maine. Just don't do it. Don't waste your money. Don't do it.
It's hard enough.
So that line has so many women making videos being pissed off. Let me give you one example. I haven't even watched this one, but here we go.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, thank you for chewing your gum on. All I heard was her gum. But let's see, where's the one that was? Where's this one? There's one. Here she is, right here. She's mad. This lady's mad. This lady's mad, and I'm just giving.
It's always a twink with a gaping rosebud and a microphone that has so much to say. But since we are being funny, let me return the favor.
Did she say?
It's actually insane, and I'm not talking about quirky insane.
I can't. Why can't I turn this off?
But structurally violent insane.
See, every once in a while this happens to me. Did she say? Did she say it's always a twink with a podcast? Wait a minute. Listen to this. Did she? What?
It's always a twink with a gaping rosebud and a microphone that has so much to say.
We're all allies until you have a bad take on someone I like, and so now I can be homophobic. Can you spell homophobic?
Since we are being fun,
which I don't give a shit. I mean, if people don't, I judge people on how they treat me and how cool they are at work. And so I don't give a fuck if people are gay, but I'm just laughing because I don't, the whole homophobic thing, I don't give a shit. If someone's homophobic, don't go around them. If someone's racist, I don't go around them. I don't give a fuck what they do. They don't, unless they're changing my life somehow, I don't give a fuck if people are racist. Be racist on your own. Go sit over there. Stay the fuck away from me. I don't care. Okay? I don't give a shit. But I just laugh that the inclusive ones, don't put some pepper in their Cheerios because they gonna come after you.
Since the Boys with Podcast decided to turn a black woman's Senate run into a punchline, let me...
A black woman's Senate line? Who gives a fuck if she's black? Her Senate run, if they think it's a waste of money, it doesn't matter. Good Lord. Is anyone really paying attention to her right now, like what she's saying?
Return the favor, because it's actually insane, and I'm not talking about quirky insane, not internet cute insane, but structurally violent insane that Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang...
Whoa, structurally violent insane. What they said was violence. I love when they equate words with violence. It's hilarious.
It was appropriate to sit on a microphone and tell black people, or people in general, not to financially support a black woman who is running for office.
What if they think she sucks? Then don't support her. What? Okay, okay, did you, what's your name, Hope's Gizlail or whatever, did you fund, what's Winsome Sears' campaign in Virginia for governor? She's a black woman. Did you? I bet you did it. What are you talking about? Good Lord. I'm sure you're out there just, pound the pavement, going door to door for Winsome Sears, weren't you? Oh, you weren't? Then shut the fuck up. I'm not listening anymore to this shit. That's stupid. That's some stupid shit. Good Lord. All right. You probably saw this over the weekend. In Philadelphia, and this is not the only place I've seen this, but I think the Pennsylvania governor, no, the governor didn't do this, but or the mayor of Philadelphia, but here's the police chief of Philadelphia talking about if ICE is in her city.
And so we stand here today.
I think we watched this on Friday.
Those who stand against the made up, fake, what you can call ICE, professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that.
Yeah, we did this on Friday. But she was saying that they're fake. There was also, where's the mayor? Larry Krasner, is he the mayor of Philadelphia? Larry Krasner, to ICE and the National Guard, if you commit crimes in Philadelphia, we will charge you and hold you accountable to the fullest extent of the law. To which the National Police Association says, unlike criminals in Philadelphia who get their charges dropped by the DA. Oh, snap. Breaking Philadelphia Sheriff Rochelle Bilal doubles down on threatening to arrest ICE agents. Arrest ICE agents for what? Here she is on CNN. That's what I wanted to show you, not the original one. Here's her doubling down on it. We saw the other one Friday. Here's her doubling down on CNN.
Via Rochelle Bilal. And Sheriff, I am grateful for your time tonight. So,
why are you grateful for it? Oh, well, I suppose you can be grateful for her time. You're really grateful for what she said, though.
So obviously, you used those words knowing full well they would be heard. and you were prepared for them to be heard, as they have been.
Oh, listen
Why
how,
did you
listen how
feel
snappy Aaron is.
the need to speak
And you were
out as a
prepared
law
for them to be
enforcement
heard.
officer so passionately against ICE?
First of all, thank you for having me. While attending
Hi,
the
Darren
DA Krasner press conference on dealing with the situation with Miss Good.
You're not dealing with the situation with Miss Good. You're in Philadelphia. Miss Good is in Minneapolis. You are not dealing with the situation with Miss Good. Shit.
That happened in Minneapolis. What was stated?
At least she pronounced Minneapolis right. I hear so many people trying to say Minneapolis, and they say Minneapolis and blah, blah, blah. At least she pronounces Minneapolis right. I'll give her credit for that.
Stated was that the district attorney said if you're going to come in Philadelphia and commit a crime, that he would arrest you.
What crime did
the sheriff's office?
So you're prejudging the outcome of an investigation, saying it's a crime. Is that what you're doing?
It deals with transportation. So basically I said you would not be able to hide. Nobody will whisk you away. And if he charges you, then you can be arrested. What I was saying is that when I said you come in this city to do a crime, we will bring the smoke to you.
What do you mean if you come in this city to do a crime? Are you assuming that what they're doing is criminal? What do you say? That doesn't make sense.
People are tired of these people coming into the city masked up.
Mask is not illegal.
All masked up.
Not illegal.
And pulling people out and causing havoc.
Not illegal if they're if it's an illegal alien who's come in the country illegally. So what's the crime you're going to charge them with? That's what I'm curious about. And how are you going to supersede federal law? And what law in Philadelphia gives you that right to supersede federal law? That's the only question I have.
This was supposed to be helping cities out. This was supposed to be eliminating crime, but yet you are committing them here.
How? What? Tell me the crime. Tell me the crime.
You are putting people in fear. You are...
Okay, that's not... Still, again, it sucks, but is it a crime? That's what I got to ask.
Breaking up families.
I bet you break up families every day. Every time you arrest somebody, probably breaking up a family, Chief.
Is it making your job harder? Is it making your job harder?
It is.
How?
Because in Philadelphia, because there are two
this makes no sense.
branches of law enforcement. The Philadelphia Police Department that, you know, does the investigation, arrest, patrol the city. The Sheriff's Office is the security of the courts. We have K9, bike unit, warrant.
Okay. Is anything she just said tell you how it makes her job harder? Does anything she just said tell you how it makes her job harder? I don't think so.
Unit that works 24 hours out in the streets. And I'm being blamed about ICE agents being around the courts. Now, I can't stop ICE from being outside, hanging around the courts, because public sidewalks, public building. But what I can do is if the district attorney arrests you and charge you, then we will make sure.
With what charge? She's not telling us what they would be arrested for. She hasn't.
We transport you to where you need to go.
So let me ask you, because, you know, the
please,
video...
please, Aaron, ask her the question I just asked. What would the charge be? What are you implying? What law are you implying that they're breaking by what they're doing?
That we've had on this, and I'm sure you've seen it from various angles. We now have a new angle tonight, filmed by the actual ICE agent who shot Good himself, right? He filmed their interaction and has released it. Vice President Vance says it shows that the ICE agent, that his life was endangered and he fired in self-defense. You do see them interacting, and it seems to be...
If she comments on this, then she's full of shit. If she comments at all, she shouldn't be saying any comment at all, because she, you know, if she comments on this, which she will, I'm pretty sure, she's full of shit.
A rather calm interaction, her arms out the window, then
Doesn't
it escalates within milliseconds to the
Why
shooting.
did it escalate? Why did it? By the way, there's something interesting about this. I hope they play this whole video, because something I didn't really realize before, as I was watching these videos, because the officer, you know, was obviously in front of the vehicle, and so some people are saying, oh, well, they're not allowed to intentionally put themselves in harm's way to use it as an excuse to shoot somebody. I didn't realize that's not what happened. When she backed up and repositioned her car, she's the one who put him in direct line of her vehicle. He wasn't walking. Let's see if they show that in the video here as you're listening to this.
You know, looking at this as law enforcement, okay?
So
and
he's right there.
She
She moved her car in front of him. She moved her car in front of him. He didn't move there. So when she backed up and was in direct line with him and then put it into gear and went forward, what else did he think he was doing? What would he have thought she was doing? Even if she turned at the last second. So now she positioned her car directly in line with him and then drives forward. What do you think he's doing?
What do you see?
He did try to step out of the way, but he had his weapon drawn too, because she pointed his car right at him and then went forward. Let's see how the old police chief here interprets it.
First of all, law enforcement professional does not put themselves in the place of danger.
And he didn't. She backed her car backed her car up, turning it so she was positioned right in front of him. So again, I didn't notice this until I think someone mentioned it, and I'm like, oh wait, let me go back and look at that video. Oh yeah, he didn't. She put him in front of her car.
You don't stand in front of a vehicle. Basically,
he didn't stand in front of the vehicle.
Standing there so that you can get hit or cause an accident. And then when the woman...
That didn't happen.
And Miss Good turns to get away from them, and the officer is on the side, where is the threat? There's no more threat for you to shoot twice into a car.
Okay, so she kind of missed something there that I missed it too. I didn't see it. I didn't notice it before either. But now that you watch it, you go, oh, wait a minute. He wasn't moving. She was.
There was no gun shooting at you. The car turned you out of the way. That should have been it.
You out of the way, thud. You out of the way, thud.
2 more shots into the vehicle, killing this woman. It's wrong.
All right. Well, she had no business talking about this now. So, I mean, sure, she can have an opinion, but she obviously doesn't see what's going on. Philadelphia Sheriff calls ICE fake law enforcement agency, vowed her office would arrest agents carrying out their duties. Legal experts warn her bold threats could put her in the hook for breaking federal law herself. We are now officially calling for this political hack in police uniform to resign in disgrace. She's an embarrassment to the profession. That's Blue Lives Matter, whatever. I think the police association has said the same thing. So pretty crazy there. All right. Let me skip this. Mayor Fry admits real fraud in welfare programs. He's now finally saying, oh, yeah, there probably was some fraud. Hey, you know what else with that fraud? That Somali community he's been sucking up to for the last couple election cycles and speaking in Somalian and always going to the rallies and eating the food and almost spitting it out. I bet you he's got a little campaign money from some of those those daycares that are completely legitimate. In fact, the guy from the Quality Learning Center, that's the same guy who's in the background of all his videos of him doing stuff. So I'm pretty sure look, the entire Democratic establishment here in Minnesota probably took some money from those those businesses. Feeding Our Futures, the daycares, the autism centers, the transportation, all those businesses. I'm sure a lot of that money has gone to grease the pockets of Democratic politicians, and that's probably why a lot of them aren't saying a peep about it, and they're probably relieved that something bad happened in Minneapolis so they don't have to get asked questions about it. Because I still haven't seen anyone ask Amy Klobuchar about it. I haven't seen anyone ask Angie Craig about it. Any of the Minnesota delegation. The only person that's mentioned is Jacob Fry and Keith Ellison and the governor. Oh, by the way, there's new reports that the governor might step out of office now. We'll keep up on that one in a minute. But here's my main topic. Just let me get this out of the way right now. Because like that, the dude I talked about earlier, which dude was that? Where is he? This guy who had, where is it? Oh, shoot. Anyway, I want to read this post because this is important. If you're talking about some of this stuff and things pop up in the internet about people or about things that they show you a post or whatever, because I've been getting an argument about what the law says about this, and I'll show you in a minute. But this is important to read. And this is Carbon Sabius. Normally, he's a Trump-supporting MAGA conservative guy, right? He says, I believe any of us who have a decent-sized platforms have an obligation to squash misinformation. There is information on Renee Good that needs to be addressed. Yes, I have fact-checked this information as a journalist using actual sources that are not tough to find, even for a non-journalist. The criminal records being shown on her and her wife are both false. Okay, so you've seen probably some rap sheets on them. False. The criminal records being shown on her, oh, I said that. The photo of her mocking the death of Charlie Kirk is not real. Someone put a photo of her doing the neck thing. That's not her. That's fake. She was not a domestic terrorist or a bad person, just someone who made a tragic mistake. I agree with that. Yes, she did some stupid shit that got her killed. But the idea that you call her a domestic terrorist, that's subjective, but here's one of the problems that I'm seeing online is people defending the actions of the cop. In some ways are making it sound like they're glad that she's dead. And that's, I think she was in the wrong. I think that the shoot was justified. But I'm not glad she's dead. Why would I be glad she's dead? Don't project that. Don't say, oh, she deserved it. She deserved to die. Well, she didn't deserve to die. But she's dead because of her actions. Like, ideally, she would have been arrested. She deserves to be in jail or in court over her stupidity. She didn't deserve to die. She died because of the actions that she did and the officer protecting himself. But she did receive a Darwin Award. Yeah, she did receive a Darwin Award. Hey, Black Romeo, what's up? The only information about her that needs to be addressed is that she aimed her car at the ICE officer and drove forward. That's it. She freaked out and did something dumb. Yeah, don't bring it up the past of people. The only way it's relevant is if, for example, her being part of ICE Watch or whatever. That's probably relevant, why she was there or whatnot. But the actions are what's important. So he says, we don't need character assassination of someone whose family is already suffering. I'm a MAGA conservative. There's no benefit for me to squash this misinformation. There is no benefit for me to squash this misinformation other than my obligation to do it. And I think that's a very good point. And so this is where, and she's trending, obviously. Everyone's talking about her, whatever. Where is it? Oh, shoot. And Ilhan Omar's trending, but I don't have time for that. Let me go into the one that I found that I'm going, this is not true. Okay. A lot of people have been posting, where is it? Let me find it. A lot of people have been posting some stupid shit. Okay. Oh, good God. This is not it. Here we go. Oh, this is a pain in the ass. Why isn't this not doing this right? Oh, son of a bitch. Well, I apologize. This is taking me longer than I intended to. Here, this right here. Okay. Well, this is the worst example. Let me get a good example. Damn it. Where the hell did it go? I'll find it right here. Okay. So, this person says, Tim Walz, yes, cops can shoot at cars and threaten them. A 2020 Minnesota law came to light after a federal agent shot a woman who tried to drive away from the stop. The law signed by Governor Tim Walz says if a car moves towards a cop and they think it's a real threat, they don't have to wait to get hit. All they need is to feel like it's a real threat. No impact required. Tragic as it was, it's not hard to see why Trump supporters are pointing out the irony. Now, that implies, and let me show you the graphic here real quick. Here's what he was pointing to. The bill was signed into law by Governor Tim Walz in July 23rd, 2020. Quote, and right here, if a driver accelerates toward an officer standing in front of a vehicle, this creates an immediate life-threatening danger. The officer does not need to wait till impact. They can act based on intent or proximity. And then they quote this statute. Hello, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. Okay, they quote this statute. And then and I'll show you another example of it. Right down here. Why are these not already doing this? Here it is. Here's another one. This bill was signed into law by Governor Tim Walz, a member of the DFL party, which is Democratic Farmer Labor Party, on July 23rd, 2020, following a special legislative session. Minnesota Statute 609.066. If a driver accelerates towards an officer standing in front of the vehicle, this creates an immediate life-threatening danger. If the officer doesn't need to wait until impact, they can act based on the apparent intent and proximity. Now, when you see this on the internet, do you assume that when someone quotes a Minnesota statute and then puts this right under it, you would assume that that is the exact language of the bill, right? Now, while this is maybe the intent of what the law says, or it's not the language of the bill. And you have to be careful when you do this, because if you do this, someone's going to go find that bill and show you that it's not what it says. And the law, it definitely does not say that. Now, doesn't mean that it's not true in practice, but that it doesn't say those words. And so if you're going to quote something and put something like this where it says you quote a Minnesota statute number, and then you put this language here, you would expect to be able to click that and say, that's exactly what it says. No. The law does outline the use of deadly force by cops. Exactly. So I was telling people that, I'm like, wait a minute. The Minnesota statute 16, here it is right here. Oh shoot, this is not it, because I screwed up the link. I screwed up the link, and so they made fun of me for doing that. Here, let's go look it up. We'll paste it right here. All right, here it is. Here's what it actually says. All right. Use of deadly force, notwithstanding the provisions of section blah, blah, blah. The use of deadly force by a peace officer in the line of duty is justified only if it's objectively reasonable. If an objectively reasonable officer would believe, based on the totality of the circumstances known to the officer at the time, without the benefit of hindsight, that such use of force is necessary. One, to protect the police officer or another from death or great bodily harm, can be articulated with specificity, is reasonably likely to occur absent action by the law enforcement officer, and must be addressed through the use of deadly force without unreasonable delay. The effect or arrest or capture or prevent the escape of a person whom peace officer knows or has a reasonably grounds to believe has committed or attempted to commit a felony, and the officer reasonably believes that that person will cause death or great bodily harm to another person under the threat criteria in Clause 1, items unless immediately apprehended. And then it adds this: a peace officer shall not use deadly force against a person on the basis of danger the person poses to self if an objectively reasonable officer would believe, based on the totality of the circumstances, the known officer at the time, and without benefit of hindsight. Without the benefit of hindsight is also very important here as far as the law. Now, again, this is Minnesota law for Minnesota peace officers. But the language about if a vehicle is coming at you, while that is certainly implied by the law and it covers the law, it does not say that in the law. It does not say that. So you got to be careful when you just repeat stuff on the internet, because what happens, okay, someone posts this, someone looks at the law, and they say, wait a minute, you're going to get a community note. We're going to tell you it doesn't say that, blah, blah. And you get caught up in the weeds on what it says instead of what the law actually means. So just be careful repeating other people's bullshit on the internet. All right, before I go, I have the best analysis I've seen so far is from our friend Nate the Lawyer. Nate the Lawyer is back. He's back doing videos after he had a big old tumor removed from his head. And so Nate the Lawyer's back, and he has a great video on this. He also has a video that I looked at this, and I don't know if you're familiar with Rashad Ritchie on the Young Turks. He's the black gentleman with the glasses, and he does a lot of commentary on the Young Turks. Apparently, Rashad Ritchie, who calls himself Dr. Rashad Ritchie, all of his degrees that he talks about him having, and he's the smartest person on the planet, apparently all his degrees are fake. Which is hilarious. I've been watching people talk about this guy for a while. So I got 2 videos from Nate the Lawyer on there, and then also, okay, I started watching one of them. So I highly encourage you to watch it. Plus, obviously, the aggregator is going to be in the links today. I just thought that was hilarious that Dr. Rashad Ritchie is a complete and utter fraud. It's just another one. Another French kiss thingy. Oh, I didn't even realize I had the old Streamlabs thing up there. So anyway, I'll try to figure out what's going on with Streamlabs later. But here comes today's links. I gotta go. I hope you have a wonderful day. There's a plumber at my house fixing our tub. So I don't know why that matters. And I'm hearing a lot of noise upstairs. So there you go. All right. That is it. Why do I have another link here for? Oh, I see. That's my creator link. All right. Let me fix this. Come on. There we go. All right. Here's today's links. I got to go. Thank you very much for joining me today on the Morning Live. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, hopefully, at that earlier time that I'm supposed to be here, but usually around 10 o'clock Eastern, I'll show up. So see you tomorrow. Have a great day. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.